is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Those stories coming up in just a few minutes. But first tonight, we are preparing for some heavy rain and potential thunderstorms over the next couple of days. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first warn forecast in the Weather Center. Gary?
Eric, doesn't seem like we've got the potential for strong thunderstorms and heavy rain on the way. After a day like today, there's the time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville showing hardly a cloud around. But actually, that is air that's been flowing northward from the remnants of Tropical Storm Cristobal. You can see the high clouds arriving late in the afternoon, and that could lead to heavy rain by tomorrow afternoon. Flash flood watch in effect from 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon through 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line, where about 1 to 3 inches of rain, maybe locally higher in some spots, is expected. From Madison eastward, probably around an inch of rain, but again, if that shifts eastward a little bit, there could be heavier rain over parts of southern Wisconsin. Severe weather tonight over parts of South Dakota and western Minnesota, but right now, Wisconsin free of precipitation. There also is a severe weather threat with the potential for some high winds and maybe some isolated tornadoes as the storms move in tomorrow afternoon. High temperatures today topped out right around 90. Madison was at 89, but Janesville hit 91. Temperatures are still very mild, mid-70s to around 80 degrees, with dew point temperatures still in the upper 50s, but they're starting to increase as it becomes more humid. For tomorrow, look for dry weather for much of the day, but thunderstorms arrive late in the afternoon. High temperature of 85, and again, the potential is there for some heavy rain and severe weather late tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night. I'll have more details in weather.
Gary, thank you. New tonight, this is video from downtown Madison. Protesters making their message clear tonight. Defund the police, painted in large, bold lettering along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in front of the city-county building leading up to the Wisconsin State Capitol. And as protests continue, local leaders are discussing the future of policing in Madison. Maddie O'Neill joins us live at the Capitol with what we're seeing tonight, what direction the Madison mayor would like to see the Madison Police Department go. Maddie?
Eric, a bit of a different vantage point from much of last week when we were by State Street. As we mentioned, we're on MLK Boulevard. I think it's safe to say there's a couple hundred people, and it just seems to be getting bigger. More people are pushing into the street toward the Capitol right now. Now, we showed you that video earlier. They painted defund the police on the boulevard right here. Started about 7 o'clock tonight. And of course, policing has been at the center of these protests. We heard from the Police and Fire Commission when they met tonight. They heard an update from Interim Chief Vic Wall on last week's protest as they get the ball rolling on the search for his permanent replacement.
No racist police!
As Interim Madison Police Chief Vic Wall looks back on the past week.
Unprecedented levels of unrest and disorder here in the city.
He says the challenging time is like nothing he's seen in 29 years with the department.
It's very difficult for the officers who feel sort of a shared unity on the issue and a shared sort of anger about what happened up there.
Wall says in the violence that broke out in the first nights, 18 officers were injured, some getting concussions from strikes to the head, even with protective gear. And he knows of one civilian reporting being hurt by an officer. At the start of this week, he's answering questions from the Police and Fire Commission, including how the department is trying to bridge the gap.
The challenge that we've seen over the past week is that there isn't just one group that is organizing things. There's a lot of different groups.
Police joined a march Sunday, a step forward, according to Wall, but he acknowledges a divide remains.
Does each side just think the other one is making something up, do you think? Or do police officers think that folks are making this up?
I don't think our people at all think anybody's making it up by any stretch. And I will clarify that I don't think that, that our folks are perfect. We continue to try to do our best.
For more than a week, Wall says many officers have been working 12 to 18-hour days. Now, with days of peace, he hopes that can slow down, while the Police and Fire Commission is picking up on its search for Wall's replacement.
I think it might behoove us to open it up to the public to find out what groups they feel are important for us to talk to as we embark on this process.
The PFC is figuring out which stakeholders they want to talk to about the chief's selection, starting with setting up a meeting with the mayor. She said today that she wants a police chief who is committed to social justice and police reform. They also plan to survey the public in some way. Now, going back to that defund the police painting in the middle of the street here, we just heard back from the mayor's office. They didn't tell me if they knew about this ahead of time, but they are telling me that the city will not be stopping their efforts here tonight.
Maddie O'Neill reporting on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard tonight, just south of the Capitol. Maddie, thank you. The local organization Urban Triage hosted a panel today to talk about the city's plan to hire an independent police auditor. An ad hoc committee recommended that position years ago after the death of Tony Robinson.
If somebody was a complainant who brought that complaint forward, the auditor would have the power to appoint an attorney for that person to go before the PFC, because right now the system doesn't work at all. Like, it's completely asymmetric. The cop has an attorney, from the union, well represented. The complainant has typically no representation. If they can find a pro bono attorney, they'll be lucky.
The Madison Common Council will vote on the position tomorrow. Urban Triage is concerned the person hired for the job won't actually be independent. They say this is a step in the right direction. A long line of mourners waited in the blazing Houston heat for a chance to say goodbye to George Floyd, a man most of them had never met. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was among those paying their respects. Tomorrow, Floyd will be buried next to his mother after a private funeral service. However, that event will be televised live on CBS. The Minneapolis officer charged with second-degree murder in Floyd's death made his first court appearance this afternoon. The judge setting 44-year-old Derek Chauvin's unconditional bail at $1.25 million or $1 million with conditions. Chauvin's next appearance set for June 29th. And exactly 2 weeks after Floyd's death, the majority of city council members in Minneapolis have promised to dismantle that city's police department and replace it with a new system of public safety. Before the city council can defund the department, they need to have a plan in place for a new system, something they admittedly don't have yet. The mayor could then veto that vote, and then the city council could override that decision with a 2/3 majority. Over the weekend, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey ruled out defunding police, saying he's considering police reform as a better option. In Washington today at the White House, the president hosted a roundtable discussion with law enforcement from across the country where he slammed the idea of defunding or dismantling police departments.
Sometimes you'll see some horrible things like we witnessed recently, but 99, I say 99.9, but let's go with 99% of them are great, great people, and they've done jobs that are record-setting. So our crime statistics are at a level that they haven't been at.
As the president met with law enforcement at the White House, former Vice President Biden was in Houston where he met with George Floyd's family. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House will not consider defunding police agencies, calling it a, quote, local matter. Earlier, the Speaker, along with House and Senate Democrats, held an 8-minute, 46-second moment of silence in memory of George Floyd before introducing a police reform bill. Among the changes, the bill would ban the use of chokeholds to subdue suspects and make it easier to prosecute officers for police brutality. However, even if it passes the House, the measure likely faces an uphill battle in the Republican-controlled U.S. Senate. The U.S. Army Secretary and Secretary of Defense say they are open to holding a bipartisan conversation about renaming about a dozen major bases that bear the names of Confederate military commanders. An Army official says although Secretary Ryan McCarthy believes he has the potential authority to unilaterally rename the installations, there would need to be consultation with the White House, Congress, as well as state and local governments. After 107 years, the statue of Confederate soldier John Castleman came down in Louisville today. It's the latest controversial statue to come down over the last couple of weeks. Louisville mayor there has supported removal of that statue for several years. According to the city, the plan is to place the statue at a local cemetery where Castleman is buried. And in Virginia, a crane and work crews were spotted at the Robert E. Lee Monument in Richmond. Last week, the governor ordered the Confederate statue to be removed. The crew there today only inspected it. When removal does happen, it won't be easy. This 21-foot statue sits on top of a 40-foot pedestal, weighs about 12 tons. To our coronavirus headlines now. The World Health Organization says spread of the virus by asymptomatic patients appears to be very rare. In Wisconsin, health officials report 2/3 of people with confirmed cases have now fully recovered. There were no new deaths reported in the state today. In total, more than 21,000 people have tested positive in the state. Well, you will be able to get tested for free at 2 locations in Sauk County this week, but you do have to register ahead of time. Tomorrow and Thursday, it'll be available at Reedsburg Ambulance from 8 until noon. Also on Thursday, the National Guard will be offering drive-through testing at Bridges Elementary School in Prairie du Sac. That one will be 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. New tonight, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes hosted an online town hall. They say they wanted to hear directly from Wisconsinites about their struggles, their thoughts on reopening, and what they still need from the Trump administration.
We have to remember that we are still in the middle of a public health emergency and that these are not 2 separate conversations. And you can't talk about COVID in the state without talking about equity, because systemic racism has led to the outcomes that we're seeing in COVID patients.
During the online event, they also pushed for federal lawmakers to fight for new policies. They want the Senate to take up the HEROES Act, which Republicans say was dead on arrival. That bill includes $3 trillion in relief aid, including another stimulus check. It is official. We are in a recession now. The National Bureau of Economic Research declared it today. It started back in February. The economy collapsed so rapidly, the Bureau wasted no time in announcing it. It's a stark contrast to previous downturns when the body took upwards of a year to declare a recession. The pandemic has caused many summer events to cancel, but Baraboo's 4th of July fireworks show will not be one of those. According to a Facebook post, the Festival Foods fireworks show will start at about 9:45 at night. Similar to past years, that launch will be held east of Lincoln Avenue and behind the meat market, but the Sauk County Fairgrounds will not be open for viewing those fireworks. And new tonight at 10, Madison police are trying to find the person or people responsible for damaging property outside Aldo Leopold Elementary School. Police say several windows, light fixtures, and security cameras were broken sometime overnight. All the items were located on the exterior of the school. Staff members are now checking to see if anything inside was either damaged or stolen. Still ahead at 10, Gary rejoins us. His complete first warn forecast, our storm chances, and the threat of flooding. And speaking of water, America's largest water park announces an opening date, and we'll have the details on when Noah's Ark is set to reopen. That's next.
It's here, Slumberland's huge clearance event. You do not want to miss this one. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, one-of-a-kind items, crazy low prices like sofas as low as $278, this gorgeous bed on closeout for only $148, or this classic sectional for just $799. Plus, get totally free doorstep shipping. No contact, no minimum. Hurry into our huge clearance event and save. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Now get your groceries even faster with Hy-Vee Aisles Online same-day pickup. Just choose the Get It Faster option and pick up your groceries in as little as 2 hours. Plus, now we've added more time slots so you can get your groceries when you need them. You'll find the freshest items, favorite brands, and the same great deals as in-store. Get free pickup on orders over $30 and no contact pickup and delivery. Download the Hy-Vee Grocery app today and pick up groceries from Hy-Vee in as little as 2 hours.
Good morning, class. Today's lesson is about Shop and Welcome. Do you know what day is coming up?
608 Day. You just go to MadisonMagazine.com, click on 608 Day to find great deals from businesses we love in the 608. You know, like the area code.
Very good, Emmy. When does this take place?
The week of June 8th, 608. Madison Magazine makes it easy to shop local.
She's my star student.
After a sunny and hot start to the week, we're talking about some big changes in the forecast. Hattie's tracking 2 alert days as the remnants of a tropical system could bring heavy rainfall across southern Wisconsin. We're on the air at 4:30 with the latest storm track.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. For a 10th straight night, protesters have taken to downtown Madison. Our Madeline O'Neill has been covering today's demonstration. She's downtown live now with an update. Maddie?
Well, plenty of people out here still on the 10th day of protest. A pretty young crowd. This is organized by groups you'll probably recognize, including Freedom Inc. and Urban Triage. Still a lot of people out here. They're telling us they began painting the defund the police at about 7 o'clock. It looks like they're almost done, still doing a little bit of work there, but it looks like it came together pretty quickly. They did barricade off this street. And then over there, some of them have some food going. It looks like some people are actually grilling out. People coming up here with cars, and it seems like the crowd is expanding a little bit farther. When we first got here, we could still drive down Doty Street, but now you can see that has to be closed off because of all of the people here tonight. So it doesn't seem like they're going to leave anytime soon. We're still hearing people speak, people chanting. So, Eric, the 10th night is going pretty strong here tonight.
All right. Madeline O'Neill, live downtown. Maddie, thank you so much. As this story continues to develop, be sure to stay with News 3 Now and Channel3000.com for the latest local and national headlines. Dunkin' Donuts will be adding 25,000 jobs as restaurants start to reopen in the U.S. The chain announced today its franchisees are looking to fill a range of positions, including management roles. Dunkin' launched an ad campaign today as well to support its recruiting efforts. Officials with Noah's Ark Water Park says it'll be opening on June 20th, a week from this coming Saturday. The park has put a series of safety measures in place to help combat the spread of COVID-19, including limited capacity, pre-entry temperature checks, and sanitizing stations. Guests must pre-purchase their tickets or season passes and RSVP for the day they want to visit. Walk-up tickets won't be available this summer. A fun event today at the Wanakee Fire Department. June is Dairy Month, so Car Valley Cheese teaming up with Sassy Cow Creamery to give away free cheese curds and milk to local families. Organizers say the point of it is simple.
The idea was put into place because of the COVID virus and families in need of food, as well as farmers in need of a place to go with their milk. So this was just a symbolic way for us to support the local farming community as well as the local community members.
75 packages of cheese curds were given away, as well as countless gallons of milk. Organizers plan to do it again on Wednesday at the Wanakee Farmers Market at 4 o'clock. All right, Gary's been watching carefully some weather that's heading our way and what's left of a tropical storm moving up through the United States. Gary.
Yeah, this is what's left of Tropical Storm Cristobal as it pushes through Arkansas. Most of the thunderstorm activity now is north and northeast of the center. But notice these bands of thunderstorms, how they kind of rotate back around in a counterclockwise manner toward the center of circulation as it lifts northward. When you have a tropical weather system, sometimes you can get spin-ups of brief tornadoes in these outer bands, and because of the fact that they kind of rotate around the main area of low pressure in a counterclockwise manner, it's not out of the question that when tornadoes do develop, that they actually could move back from southeast to northwest, kind of opposite from the way that we're normally used to seeing them around here, which is usually a west to east or southwest to northeast motion. So that bears some watching if we do have a tornado threat tomorrow. And the Storm Prediction Center thinks there's at least the possibility for an isolated tornado. Right now you can see maximum sustained winds 30 miles per hour moving north-northwest at 17 miles per hour. So the faster it moves, the better the chances that it will limit the heavy rain potential. But still, there's going to be a lot of rain in the forecast, especially over the western portions of our viewing area. We have alert days in the forecast for the potential, not only for heavy rain, but the severe weather threat late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. The heavy rain should end on Wednesday, although we could see additional showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. You add up all that rain over 2-day total, and we're probably looking at about 1 to 3 inches of rain, especially over the western parts of our area. So 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening after a very warm and more humid day tomorrow. Those showers will linger into Wednesday. Could be a couple of afternoon thunderstorms, but after that, we have a nice break in the weather with dry weather, sunny skies, and temperatures in the low to mid 70s, and that will continue at least into the first part of next week. Right now, the severe thunderstorm threat is to our north and west across parts of the Dakotas into western Minnesota. That's with a cold front that eventually will merge with the remnants of Cristobal, which you don't even see the rain showing up on radar yet. But again, the Storm Prediction Center does have that marginal risk of severe thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Again, a possibility for some isolated tornadoes, maybe some high winds, especially over the southern parts of the area, but the hail threat staying off to the west because temperatures will be very warm aloft, and that's not conducive for hail development. But with all that warm air, warm, moist air, heavy rains of perhaps 2 to 4 inches or more across parts of Iowa and northwestern Wisconsin. We'll see about an inch in the Madison area, maybe a little lesser amounts off to the east. Now, as we check out our forecast, there's a flash flood watch beginning at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon through 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line. Look for a high of 85 tomorrow. Much of the day will be dry, but thunderstorms will develop late in the afternoon. The humidity levels will be up, and it'll also be a windy day as well. You can see on Future Track by 2:30 in the afternoon, the thunderstorms starting to approach southern Wisconsin. They'll move through during the evening hours. By midnight, the heaviest activity should be lifting north of us. Things will stay pretty quiet with a shower or thunderstorm chance, and on Wednesday afternoon, notice a little more in the way of activity popping up. But after that, things should really quiet down. Rainfall amounts about an inch from Madison eastward to the west. Could see some 2 or 3 inch amounts, especially toward the Mississippi River. 7 to 10 day forecast. Notice those drying conditions pretty much starting on Thursday and lasting through most of next week. Just a couple of chances of rain. Temperatures 70s this week, low to mid 80s next week, but the humidity level should stay down.
It's just wild to see like that tropical storm moving through Arkansas and Missouri.
Last time we had a tropical weather system that made it this far north to Wisconsin was Hurricane Gilbert back in 1988.
Wow. So pretty amazing. All right, we'll see what happens here, Gary. Thank you. Sure. Head in sports, Badgers back on campus. What the next 2 weeks will look like for the football Badgers and the volleyball team as well. Zach joins us next with sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Here's to all the farm and fleet dads, the ones who get the job done right, the ones who work hard and take pride in what they do, the ones who take the time to pass it on. Show your appreciation this Father's Day with a gift you know he'll love from his favorite store, Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Like $60 off this Craftsman Mechanics tool set. Get 10% off Valspar True Basics paint. This Danby dehumidifier, only $169.99. Plus, a Blaine's Farm and Fleet gift card is always the perfect gift.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Now you can shop for food and shoes at the grocery store. Introducing DSW now at Hy-Vee. You'll find summer styles for the whole family. And right now, all DSW shoes at Hy-Vee stores are 50% off. And we've got hundreds of thousands of shoes on sale. Get 50% off all women's shoes, 50% off all men's shoes, and 50% off all kids' shoes. Check out DSW at Hy-Vee and get 50% off all shoes.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With special offers like 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Now get 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Contact your Ford dealer or stop by today.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, US Cellular has your back with the Samsung Galaxy S25G. Free when you switch, plus no activation fees. Stream without disruption, capture and post without restriction, and do it all without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
Lately, we've found new ways to support and care for each other. And while every gesture counts, so too does every dollar. That's why American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that supporting your dreams means the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save.
Hi, I'm Travis Ganser. We hear ya. You need new windows. Ganser Company is proud to introduce 80 years in 80 minutes. Simply put, you need real information and pricing. Our 80 years of hindsight for 80 minutes of your time. We give you the skinny in 80 minutes to make an educated decision.
Infinity Windows from Marvin offer a lifetime warranty and are made just for that, a lifetime. Infinity Windows don't warp, crack, or fade over time, like vinyl windows.
Remember, 80 years and 80 minutes from a local family business of 4 generations.
Coach Ryan is back coaching in Wisconsin.
No, not Bo. He's still retired. I'm talking about his son, Will, UW Green Bay's new head men's basketball coach. Now, last season, Ryan led Wheeling University to a 14-13 record in his first year as a head coach. And Bo Ryan is flattered that his son is following in his footsteps. But when it comes to watching Will coach, that's easier said than done for the former Badger head coach.
My wife was putting the games, she was streaming the games on the computer. I averaged walking away from the computer 30 times a game. Can't watch it. No, Will, you need to do this. You need to get that kid out of there. You need to do, but he can't hear me. Yeah, it is really hard to watch your kids coach.
This week, the Badger football and volleyball teams are back on campus for physicals and COVID-19 testing. If all goes well in that phase, then they'll start their strength and conditioning programs next Monday. The Badgers will be tested and have their temperature taken before every workout, and then they'll work out in groups of 10 with one strength coach per group. The men's and women's basketball and hockey teams are set to return to campus later this month. The NFL had issued its own protocols for the players to return to team facilities. The big ones: locker rooms will be spaced out for players to be 6 feet apart. Masks are required to be worn except when they interfere with athletic activities. And helmet, shoulder pads, and other equipment will be disinfected after each game. And Jordy Nelson is headed to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame and will be inducted on October 4th. The former Packer spent 10 of his 11 seasons in the league in Green Bay, where he won a Super Bowl. Nelson finished his career with nearly 8,600 receiving yards and 72 touchdowns. We'll be right back.
When the doctor said Mama wasn't going to get better, we were shocked. We're not ready. How will we get through this?
A Grace will help, with kind caregivers who help you handle the tough moments ahead.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At SHOPKO Optical, your eyes are everything to us too. Which is why we offer everything to help you see better and look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're SHOPKO Optical. You'll see.
Whether you're working in the garage or the garden, Fleet Farm has what you need. This week, save big on things like Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil, just $15.99 after rebate. Select Under Armour apparel, 40% off our low fleet price. Select Pepsi 6-packs, 4 for $10. And Diamond Large Bag Dog Food, $3 off. Plus, don't forget Dad. Fleet Farm gift cards make the perfect gift for Father's Day. No matter the job, we've got you covered. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
To all the essential workers whose front lines are out here, who still go to work every single day and work tirelessly with long days and short nights. As for social distancing, well, they've got acres of it, and gloves, and masks, and equipment. And when it breaks down, they find a way and make do. To those that stare adversity in the face, who gather strength after storms and have weathered all that life has thrown them for generations, who show patience and courage and who rise after every time they fall. To those who are the caretakers of the land, who make things grow, and who love their families and communities, and whose backs this country was built on. To those men and women who provide our food and clothes and feed the world, and who have always been on the front lines, we say thank you.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by SHOPKO Optical.
Welcome back. Before we go, we want to head back downtown one more time where protests are continuing on MLK Boulevard. Our Maddie O'Neill's there. She has an update. Maddie?
Well, still plenty of people here tonight. They're hearing from speakers. You know, we're pretty close to the police department now. Again, we have the defund the police painted outside the city county building and Madison Municipal building. Did want to point out again, we haven't seen any uniformed officers here today. Things have been peaceful. They've just been chanting, listening to speakers. The painting looks to be about finished here. And again, the mayor's office got back to me saying that there won't be any efforts from the city to clean this up tonight.
All right, Maddie O'Neill live downtown. Maddie, thanks so much. And as always, be sure to stay with News 3 Now and Channel 3000. We'll have the very latest local and national news. Let's get to Gary. One final check of our forecast. Gary?
Yeah, potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. An isolated tornado, a possibility. And then heavy rain. Already flash flood watches in effect west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line from 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon through 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Rainfall amounts there could be in the 1 to 3 inch range, probably an inch from Madison eastward, but we'll just have to see where the heaviest rain lines up.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. We hope you have a great Monday night. Take care.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
We must never minimize the focused and distinct requirement to end racism against African Americans. We must remain driven by that singular goal. But the only way we can truly ensure an equal and just world for African Americans is to create an equal and just world for all. And it seems to us that work is strengthened by being all-inclusive. Latinx and Native American peoples, too, historically and recently have died at the hands of white people. Immigration laws, anti-Islamic and Asian bigotry and discrimination, and white terrorist attacks are all injustices that must end. We believe we have embarked on historic, foundational, sustainable societal change. This is a movement. It is just wrong that we have already politicized Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Justice matters. We are committed to that in ways we have never been before. Let's take this opportunity to make sure it's justice for all.